So we're going to talk today and for the next couple of Sundays. Actually, whenever I say that, I think that's so ridiculous because I'm talking and hopefully you're listening. Not just to me, but to whatever's going on inside of you, to your own still small voice of truth that speaks to you as you listen to me. But we're going to be looking at the topic of prayer. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with Anne Lamott. Raise your hand if you are. I like her. She's an author. She's an activist. She teaches writing classes. She writes in just a very real, accessible way. Every book she's written has become a New York Times bestseller. And I found this book some time ago called Help, Thanks, Wow, The 3 Essential Prayers by Anne Lamott. Anne says, I do not know much about God and prayer, but I have come to believe over the last 25 years that there is something to be said about keeping prayer simple. Help, thanks, wow. Say that with me. Help, thanks, wow. I like the way Anne Lamott in this book defines prayer. She says, prayer is communication between the heart and the divine. It is seeking union with the divine. Let me repeat that. It is communication between the heart and the divine. It is seeking union with the divine. Communication between the heart and the divine. These prayers, help, thanks, wow, in many ways are at the basis of any of the things that cause us to want to pray in the first place. This idea of help is the idea that there's a point in our lives, in fact, for some of us, many points in our lives, where we feel overwhelmed, where we feel like we're in a situation that we just don't know how to deal with or how to get past. Our own best thinking has brought us right to where we are now and can't take us any further. And we feel, help me find a way beyond, help me find a way through. Something's not working here. The kind of prayer that we want to practice is a kind of prayer that lives in our heart, our soul, and our very gut. It's not the prayer that lives in our minds. But in prayer, if our prayer is just that formal, rote repetition of somebody else's words, I want to say that's not going to bring about the change that we're usually after that causes us to fall to our knees, literally or figuratively, to pray in the first place. That is a different kind of prayer. And it's a kind of prayer that's got to be felt in the heart and in the soul and in the very gut, if you will. And of all of these 3 prayers, the one that I think brings us to our knees, so to speak, and is really felt in the gut is that spontaneous prayer that we almost shout out at the universe, help. Have you ever done that? Have you ever gotten to a place in your life where you just, and maybe it wasn't a shout out, but it was that strong feeling inside, help me. Nod your head if you know. Right. And what brought you there? And I'm not talking about the external circumstances that brought you there, but what brought you, I bet, to that soul scream for help was you were at the very edge of what you knew to do. And that everything that you had done up to that point had worked to a certain extent, but it didn't get you where you needed to be. It didn't bring about the healing, or it didn't bring about the resolution or the solving of whatever it was that was going on. And you were screaming on a soul level, help, help. We have a problem, I believe, in our society. To a certain extent we do. We associate the request for help with weakness. We so value being strong and independent that we've taken that to such an extreme, I believe, that to ask for help almost feels as if we're admitting failure. Admitting we just can't do it, which is true, that's why we're asking for help, but then we layer onto ourselves that somehow that is wrong. And what I want to leave us with in this message is that it is healthy and absolutely important and a sign of emotional and spiritual strength and maturity to ask for help when we need it. Asking for help of the divine, asking for help of our higher power, asking for help from spirit, whatever you call that presence, wants to be as easy and natural and automatic for us when we need it as asking for help when we need to lift something heavy that's too heavy for us to do on our own. What do? We ask for help from another person, right? And we know that if we ask for it and that person is available, is capable, what are they going to do? They're going to help us, right? There's a statement in the New Testament, I don't remember what book it's in, but the statement is, you have not because you ask not.
Thanks for listening. The Unity Center, transforming lives and healing our world. Check us out, Sundays at 9 and 11. Many people enjoy Reverend Wendy's talks and meditations and aren't able to attend the Unity Center in person. If you're part of our extended family from around the world and would like to help support the Unity Center, please go to our website or download our free app, which offers even more ways to connect with the Unity Center. Namaste.